Kootenay Pirates, geocaching California and Arizona in 2025. Oh, it's been a long time since we cached here. So let's get off the couch and go on an adventure. We jumped on a plane in Spokane, and we were soon finding geocaches in the California sun. We also found some really fun roads to explore. Signal and Tracker could hardly wait to get their picture taken, and they were still in the suitcase. We found a lot of geocaches on the buried Goldwater range. Yeah, this sign suggested there could be fun ahead. And this sign, to watch out for unexploded bombs on the bombing range. The countryside sure is a lot different than BC. I don't see any trees. We did get to play in a lot of sand. And we even saw some small but very rocky mountains. I bet you there's snakes up there. There's interesting cacti everywhere. You know, we even got to see some tanks displayed out in the desert. And there's Mrs. Kootenay Pirate finding a geocache hidden on one of those tanks. It looked so real as we drove up. We really did not know what to expect. We sure had a lot of fun exploring the back road south of Yuma and Welton. Way out in the desert, we found this sign. If you need help, push the red button. Border Patrol will arrive in 1 hour. Do not leave. You cannot walk to safety from this point. You are in danger of dying if you do not summon help. Yikes, it must get really hot here. That's a melted outhouse. Check out these melted geocaches. We were lucky it was not that hot while we were out finding geocaches. Mrs. Pirate drew a map of our route for the day, which included a lunch stop. I don't think we actually stopped. The map didn't include the unexpected flyover by the Border Patrol. That was awesome! Look at the ready-to-hide geocache on the back of this Border Patrol side-by-side. It's camoed and ready to hide in the sand. There's nothing shiny on this side-by-side. There's our 3 Jeeps, and we're all ready to go find some where-a-goes in the desert. That was a lot of fun. One Jeep stuck. Doesn't take much in the soft sand. Later that day, we had 2 out of 3 Jeeps stuck. At the Yuma Block Party, we were lucky enough to hear Brian talk about some of the good things going on with geocaching. We then teamed up with Mountain Bike to go find a few adventure labs. We had to pause and rethink our strategy a couple times. But with the help from a couple local muggles, we ended up with big smileys. What a great day! This is one side of the Block Party logbook. I know the Kootenay Pirate signature's on there somewhere. I think everyone had a good time at the Block Party. I know we sure did. Most geocachers have heard about the ape caches. Well, we met the ape. I think it's pretty obvious Mrs. Pirate found a geocoin she wants. We left the Yuma area and headed back towards San Diego. Still having tons of fun and finding lots of geocaches. Once in San Diego, we headed for the ocean. We discovered bird shit rock while doing an adventure lab. We just had to stop and watch the pelicans. At least I think they were pelicans, and they're fishing for dinner. Haha, that was really interesting. That's Mrs. Kootenay Pirate completing adventure labs on Fiesta Island in San Diego. Mrs. Pirate, she couldn't stop smiling the whole time while she's doing the stages of the Adventure Lab Geo Art. We even found a pirate ship while geocaching along the waterfront. Then sadly, we had to head back home, but we realized that we should have booked a longer trip. So, 3 weeks later, here we are, back in Arizona. This time, a lot of UTVs were parked overnight at the Welton Micro Inn. They were all doing the 700-mile Peace Trail. We also got to see some gorgeous sunsets. They have the best sunsets down there. Isn't that nice? Mrs. Kootenay Pirate, a tough cache in a gnarly tree. Some of the roads were soft sand. Other roads were sharp rocks. Wow, we sure had a lot of fun finding geocaches on all the back roads. That's a pretty cool geocache. The countryside here sure is a lot different than back home. The vegetation's kind of different too. Look at that. You can see forever. Oh, it sure looks like fun. Quartzite or Yuma? Let's do both. Mrs. Kootenay Pirate, figuring out which way we should go to find the next geocache. But this is not the best route to the cache. Difficulty and terrain both go up with lots of thorns. The idea was to see all the different cacti, but try not to touch. The trail of geocaches led us through some diverse countryside. It was constantly changing. That's my beautiful wife. And this is our favorite adventure lab so far. We didn't see anyone, but a voice called out to us and made us register before we got in. The voice was very clear. We must leave our crocs behind. Offenders will be placed in the stockade and beaten over the head with a dirty crock and then forced to listen to mumble rap. Consider yourself warned. Well, it didn't have a dirty crock to beat her over the head with. I did make her listen to me sing. Calling a friend while doing the adventure lab in Slow Jamistan. I guess geocaches aren't allowed to feed the raccoons. Hey, there's one now. Geez, he can't eat much, can he? There's another raccoon. We actually only got to see two on our stay in Slow Jamistan. Mrs. Pirate, trying to find a stage of the adventure lab. Someone went to a lot of effort to make this so realistic. The voice at the security gate promised to turn off the landmines. Hey, Mrs. Kootenay Pirate found a Slow Jamistan passport. This is just a reminder, a lot of work went into this, and not to vandalize it. It was pretty windy for a few days, so we got to see some sand drifts, not snow drifts. Wahoo! A recreation trail of geocaches with a Jeep Wrangler. This is going to be fun. After finding a few geocaches, we came across a major washout. We did find a way around this one, and happily continued to find geocaches. Some sections of the trail were quite soft, so you had to use care when starting and stopping. Suddenly, we were stopped by a huge recent washout with no way around. Closer to Borrego Springs, we ran into some rain, which made for a beautiful rainbow. These meadows have geocaches and animal sculptures. Rainbow, woolly mammoth, geocache, you just can't see the geocache. This would be kind of scary if these guys are real. A lot of work went into making these things. These amazing sculptures are spread out everywhere among the geocaches. It's so realistic. We found a lot of geocaches near Borrego Springs. After the rain, the octillas started to flower. We don't get to see that very often. One of the highlights of our trip was staying in a camper trailer in Borrego Springs. It was so much more fun than staying in a motel. We would just love to stay there again. I wasn't going to show this picture, but Mrs. Pirate made me. Yes, we saw snow in California. Back in San Diego, we found a few more geocaches before finding our room for the night, which was quite close to the airport. We had a lot of fun, found a lot of geocaches, and smiled until our faces hurt. Would we do it again? Oh, you bet we would.